Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. Here's what we have in the bulletin. Local government minister adamant that the elections have nothing to do with millions allocated to improve markets across the country. Renewed calls for Education Ministry to employ more guidance counselors in schools. And later in sports, West Indies defeat Australia in third T20 International. Thank you for joining us. I'm Kerry-Ann Simpson. Here are the details. Hundreds of millions of dollars have been allocated to improve markets across the country. That announcement from Local Government Minister Desmond McKenzie less than 2 weeks before the local government polls. However, the minister is adamant that the elections have nothing to do with the government's plans. The details in this report.
At the official opening of the Port Maria Market in St. Mary, a promise from the local government minister for all markets.
And the government will be providing some $250 million to repair and to clean sanitary facilities in all markets across Jamaica. This is a program that will deal with the sanitary concerns of both vendors and shoppers in the market.
According to Minister McKenzie, the renovation is part of the government's plan to make all markets more friendly for vendors and customers. Sanitary convenience aside, he listed major renovations for markets in St. Mary, namely Anoto Bay and the Highgate markets. The latter was destroyed by fire in 2022, but he says residents and vendors in Highgate won't have to wait much longer.
I'm pleased to announce this morning that the final design for a new look Highgate market with a proper transportation center has been completed, and in the new financial year coming, the market will go out to tender.
That project is estimated to cost $200 million. Not much details were given about the proposed renovations for the Anoto Bay facility, but with Jamaicans slated to vote for councillors of municipal corporations in less than 2 weeks, some have criticized his announcement as politically driven. Mr. McKenzie responded,
I don't want anybody to tell me that I'm here because an election is in the air. I work every day, whether or not election is in the air. This government works every day.
While the Port Maria Market has been operational for over a year, the official opening was delayed while the meat shop and other areas were being completed. O'Shane Masters, TVJ News.
In the meantime, the renovated Port Maria Market comes at a cost at approximately $68 million. The market was refurbished after operating in a deplorable state for years. Back then, the St. Mary Public Health Department declared it unfit for use. Local Government Minister Desmond McKenzie says the refurbishing was always on the government's agenda.
I just spoke with the mayor that the official sign must be placed on the market, so that history will record that on this day, after many years of waiting, finally the market is here.
Mr. McKenzie says he understands the challenges of markets and vending. He has this warning for vendors.
And a lot of people will tell you that they don't want to go into the market, especially the vendors, because it is not conducive for them to use the market. Now there shouldn't be any vendor in Port Maria who is going to be complaining about a proper market. And my message to the vendors is that this money, some of it includes all of your tax dollars, was used to build this market.
Mr. Mackenzie says this is the fourth new market opened since 2016. Preparation is in high gear at the Jamaica Debates Commission as the political debates for the local government election kicks off on Thursday. However, the commission has announced a change to the slate of candidates debating.
A number of issues will be discussed at the local governance level when the debates open this week. The 90-minute debates are scheduled for Thursday and Saturday at 9 p.m. with representatives from the two major political parties. Vice Chairman of the Jamaica Debates Commission, Brian Schmidt, says there has been a change to the slate of debaters for one of the political parties.
So now on the 15th, on the Team GLP, we'll have Charles Sinclair, Richard Query, and Vanessa Phillips. And Team PNP will have Natalie Nita Garvey, Dennis Gordon, and Alan Bernard. So that is the debate on Thursday, the 15th, which centers around policy. And then on Saturday, the 17th, the Team GLP will be Delroy Williams, Richard Vernon, and Whitney Smith Curry. And Team PNP will be Andrew Swaby, Sean Barneswell, and Cadian Harty.
The rules for the debates have already been outlined to both sides.
We do not know the questions that the panelists are going to ask. They know the topic, and they come up with their own questions. But also, we have a set of rules and guidelines in terms of just decorum and how we behave, or how they behave on set, but also in terms of how much time is allotted for opening statements, or answering the first question, or doing rebuttals. So all of that is penciled out and discussed well in advance so that there are no surprises for anyone, and everybody generally adheres to all those rules and regulations.
And the Jamaica Debates Commission says the debates will be fair and without bias.
For example, part of the production is not just about the cameras and delivering a signal that the public sees, but both political parties come through, they get to see the set, where they're going to stand, the lighting, the camera position, something as simple as focusing and looking straight at the camera rather than the questioners, so that they can connect with the viewing public. All of these things we discuss so that at least everybody has the right opportunity to present themselves.
Both men were speaking on Beyond the Headlines on Monday. Herman Green, TVJ News.
Renewed calls this afternoon for the Ministry of Education to employ more guidance counselors in schools, especially in rural areas. Some stakeholders are of the view that the counselor-to-pupil ratio, which is woefully inadequate, affects the quality of counseling services students receive. Amoy Harriet has the detail.
It takes a village to raise a child, but according to one guidance counselor, the school is the only village by which some students are being raised.
One of the problems that we find that actually attribute to some of the issues that the students are now facing is the lack of parental involvement, and this is something that is affecting the entire Jamaica.
It is for this reason Ms. Facey, who is also a past president of the Jamaica Association of Guidance Counselors in Education for Region 1, believes more counselors are needed in schools.
I know of a school right now that has over 1,000 students to one guidance counselor. That is significantly high. And then for other schools, you have like 600 to one guidance counselor. You might have 12. So in most schools, you have like 2 guidance counselors. And even with 2 guidance counselors, because there are different components to the guidance program, so it causes you to be doing a lot of stuff.
But the situation is even more dire in rural Jamaica.
The problem and the challenge that I see is for the schools that are without counselors. We have some schools, especially in the rural area, that are without counselors at this time.
There are approximately 1,200 guidance counselors across Jamaican schools. President of the Jamaica Association of Guidance Counselors in Education for Region 1, Denise Reed, says the advisors are burnt out.
Because we have so many students to deal with, the role of the guidance counselor, the caseload is a lot to deal with. And so it is you're unable to complete most of your client. The task to complete it, to give feedback, so it's like you cut it short. You're not able to complete each client at times.
An education officer in the region says the ministry is in the process of addressing the issue. Amoy Harriet, TVJ News.
The Oracabessa police station barracks in St. Mary was damaged by fire Monday night. Reports are that the fire was seen coming from the building sometime after 7 p.m. Firefighters from the Port Maria fire station were called to respond to the blaze. Some police officers lost their personal belongings in the incident. However, the station was not affected. The estimate of the damage is still not known as investigations are ongoing. It's time for a break. Stay with us. More stories when we return. Welcome back to the Midday News. The country has seen an 18% reduction in road fatalities when compared with the corresponding period last year. According to the Road Safety Unit, as at February 9, 36 people were killed in road crashes. These resulted from 33 fatal collisions. But the Road Safety Unit is still not pleased. It wants more road users to change their poor behavior in 2024 when using the road. In 2023, Jamaica recorded 425 road fatalities, resulting from 384 collisions. That represents a 13% decline in fatalities and a 10% drop in road collisions when compared with 2022. It's time now for the Business Minute.
National Commercial Bank Jamaica says it is keeping up with trends in fraud in a bid to reduce the issues faced by customers. CEO of NCBJ, Bruce Bowen, says the issues relating to fraud have been among the top pain points for customers. Mr. Bowen has also defended the bank's decision to reduce online transaction limits. Further afield, cocoa farmers say climate issues are damaging crop yields, constraining cocoa supply and causing prices to soar. Sugar, labor and other factors have all gotten pricier. This follows an announcement by Hershey that it will be laying off some of its workers. The Pennsylvania-based company reported that its quarterly earnings were hit by the soaring cost of cocoa. Other chocolate companies are also feeling the pinch. And that's it for the Business Minute. I'm Hal Shane Burke.
Time now for the top regional and international stories.
In the region, Guyana's Ministries of Education and local government say teachers who have been on strike for the past 2 weeks will not be paid. A public notice signed by the permanent secretaries says this unauthorized absence constitutes a breach of the teachers' conditions of service and their statutory duties and attracts legal sanctions. In response, the Guyana Teachers Union says it will challenge the decision in court as the employees followed the requisite legal steps. The strike is to press demands for an increase in salary. On the international scene, dozens of schools in Northeast United States have been ordered closed and warnings issued against road travel and possible flight disruptions as the region braces for a coastal storm expected to bring heavy snow, strong winds, and flooding. Some of the highest snowfall totals were forecast for the northern suburbs of New York City and southwestern Connecticut, where 12 to 15 inches are possible. Wind gusts could hit 65 kilometers per hour in interior parts of southern New England. Massachusetts Governor Maura Healey told all non-essential employees to not report to work today. And former U.S. President Donald Trump has asked the Supreme Court to suspend a lower court ruling that he does not have presidential immunity from prosecution. He had claimed in his election interference case he could not be tried for acts carried out as president. 3 lower court judges disagreed, ruling that he can be prosecuted like any other citizen. But Mr. Trump's lawyers say he should not be tried during an election campaign. And those were the top regional and international stories. I'm Amoy Harriet.
Thank you, Amoy. We head to a quick break. When we come back, we'll have your midday sports with Jermaine Brown.